Alright guys, Perry Hensley back here with you. I'm down here today on Loudon, Fort Loudon Lake. Uh, Down here around Lenore City. Well, I'm in the Ish Creek. I'll just let you know where I'm at. But anyway, we want to see if I can catch a couple, maybe find some spots to fish the tournament, and just have a good day, and have a good day in the Lord, and trust Him, and just have a good time, but anyway, we're going to throw some slab happy lures, of course. We're going to throw some hair jigs. I've even got minnows. We might even throw a minnow or two. I don't know yet. But anyway, took a while to get here. Coming all the way from Mossheim in Greene County, and got in Knoxville about 8 o'clock, and it was rough. Traffic was backed up quite a bit. I finally made it down here, and it's about 9:30 now, so I got Grace with me here. Grace is my boat, in case you don't know, and I'm not sure about how to run this lake. This lake kind of scares me a little bit. I'm not used to just running the channels and stuff, but anyway, God's gonna take care of us on that. I want to thank some of my sponsors while I'm here. Bait Pop, Artistic Printers, Rougarou Tackle, The Angler Magazine, Mossheim Market and Deli, Rebel River Outfitters, Mammoth Ridge Campground and RV Park. Today we'll be using the ACC crappie sticks. I've got my 11-footer, 7-footer, 2 8-footers, a 5.5-footer, and a 6.5-footer. And we're just going to be switching back and forth with them. Again, using my Bait Pop. I think that's about everything. But, hang with us right here. We're going to see if we can't shoot some docks, fish some structure, and maybe find an open water somewhere. You never know. Stick with us.
Today's video is brought to you in part by Windrider Apparel, Mossheim Market and Deli, Artistic Printers, Rebel River Outfitters, Mammoth Ridge RV Park, The Angler Magazine, Bait Pop Live Sonar Intensifier, Rougarou Tackle Company, Hooker's Terminal Tackle, Ayler Packaging, and Slab Happy Lures.
And results wasn't too great, but I ain't gonna complain. We caught fish. We had a good time. God kept us safe. Anyway, I'm gonna go over where we're at as far as the points and stuff go. As of right now, we're about halfway through the tournament season, and JD and I are sitting at right outside the top 10. We're sitting at 11th in points, and let me see here. We are sitting at 11th out of 22, so we're middle of the pack, which is our average, But, expect things to change. We got Cherokee coming up, our next tournament here in November. Then we got Chickamauga. Then we got Watts Bar. Then we have, forget who we have, which lake we have after that. Douglas is the one we have after that. So I expect those 4 lakes to be pretty good to us. We always do decent on those lakes. Watts Bar has been one of our nemesis, if that's a word. But anyway, we are Whew. We are well on our way to try to reach that number 6 position is where we need to be to fish the March Madness after the Classic on Del Hollow. Going to be good. These guys are hard to beat. Again, I'm going to say I thought I was a good crappie fisherman before I entered this 3 years ago now. But man, I was mediocre. I could get my limit of crappie here on these lakes, and do decent. But man, when you go up against these guys, they're really good. They know their stuff, and again, come fish it with us. You never know, how good you are until you fish some of these guys. Again, you can sit on your home lake, all day long, and but if you go in the blind and you fish a lake that you know nothing about, till that morning, it's a challenge and it's a fun one. Can be disappointing. I'm kind of disappointed on where I'm at right now in the points, but God is good, and we'll get there. It's we just keep our head up, keep our nose to the grindstone there, and keep plugging away. One tournament at a time. We can't get too disheartened about it. We're out there and we're able to fish and with a bunch of great guys. They're all good. And this crappie trail teaches you. It's taught me a lot, and that's the main thing. We get out there and have fun, and God's creation, and I have a good time, and I have a good time without, the alcohol, the drugs, the filthy talk. It is a God-based, Christian-based um, um, tournament trail, so to speak. We pray, and we as far as I'm concerned, I try to honor the Lord when we're fishing, no matter what we're doing. We try to do that, JD and I, and okay, I can speak for some others, and but we have a good time doing it, and it's not all this drama fighting. It's just a really fun competition, And once again, we're not in it for the money. We spend, and our sponsors spend a whole lot more money than we will ever make fishing these things. But that ain't the point behind it. And well, we're going to be fishing anyway. And but we've had a good time. We've won. We've gotten third place once, second place a couple of times, and last year we won 8 ACC rods on top of other gear that they give away, and so those 8 ACC rods, that's a good chunk of change right there, and but once again, if you're not never fished one, come out and fish it, and we'll have a good time, and but anyway, back to the Loudon tournament. Like I say, we didn't do great. Um, come in 10th place out of 14 teams. You know, we got in there early. I had went down earlier that week and done some pre-fishing and found some stuff to fish that wasn't my norm. You know, I try not to stick too much anymore on fishing laydowns and stuff of that nature. While you may get a good fish every now and again off of a laydown, 90% of those fish, you know, are going to be small crappie. And I have one thing that I have learned is, you know, unless it's springtime, you know, the bigger fish um, are predators now. You know, they're no longer prey to other little fish. So you have to think of it that way. They're out there where the big fish are. Um, you know, they're more in the creek channels. They follow the creek channels. They are if they're in shallower water, um, they're close to that channel or close to deeper water. Um, they follow the shad, and you know, while you may catch a lot of fish fishing these laydowns and stuff, you know, um, it's a different thing to tournament fish. You know, you're wanting tournament quality fish, and you're not going to get that fishing laydowns. Now, sometimes you'll get lucky, like I say, you'll pull one good one off of there or something. Um, Maybe even two good ones, you know. But for the most part, those bigger fish are in open water. Those bigger fish are following the channels. Those bigger fish are out there where the bait's at, and that's where you got to go find them. And again, it's hard to change. It's hard to change up um, when you've grown up, you know, fishing laydowns and stuff, and you've got into that catching eater fish. There's nothing wrong with catching eater fish, but you can't win a tournament with eater fish. This is the fact of the matter. So, um, anyway, that's one thing that it's taught me. But you know, Loudon, like I say, was fun. Mr. Lewis Gibson and myself fished that tournament. Um, check his channel out, the Crappie Preacher or the Crappie Preacher on YouTube. Um, really good guy. You know, I think a lot of him. Uh, we got in our first spot early that morning, you know, and we had our six pretty quick. Um, and through closer toward the end of the day, you know, I'd say with about 2 hours left, you know, I'd weighed the fish, you know, and logged them into the scale, and we were sitting at 6.5 pounds, which is not a bad weight for Loudon right now. Um, it's definitely not Watts bar fish, but or Douglas fish, but you know, right now you've got the transition going on. You know, the lake turned over um, and stuff like that. So for the average fisherman, you know, the bigger crappie are harder to find, in my opinion. We had some decent fish again. We had 6.5 on my scale, and get to looking at the weigh-in scales, um, we would have had closer to 7 pounds by the weigh-in scales. But anyway, we had three of the bigger fish die, which we caught deep. I don't know why they died. We had three. We had a 109 that died. We had a 90 that died, and we had a 80. I'm thinking an 88 that died. That was three of our biggest fish, you know, and it always seems to be the bigger ones. But you know, caught those fish deep. Um, when I say deep, we caught them in about 25 feet of water, and and we put the weights on them. We put them in the live well. We had G juice in there. We had the aerator going, and all that, and he still didn't make it. So, um, we would have been up there around sixth place, maybe sixth or seventh place. But anyway, that's the way it went for us. But I just wanted to come and let you guys know, be transparent about it. We can make excuses all day long and well, we didn't do good, but let's see. I'm gonna stick to the facts. The fact of the matter is, three fish died, um, and I need to be better, at nursing them, and um, I'm not into sticking those fish. That's something I'm not familiar with, and I don't want to kill a fish unnecessarily. But here's a tip for you. If you're fishing a tournament, um, and you're weighing in your top 5 or your top 7 or whatever you got, when you go to culling those fish out, don't throw all of them back. Keep you some fish on hand. Keep you another 7 or 8 fish to the side, so you've got extras. So I've learned that. Uh, I had a bad experience with that, because if those fish die, for some odd reason and odd things happen, you'll have backup fish. And we had to use 3 of our backup fish, which was uh, about a pound and a half less than what we weighed in. And that's the way things go, though. It's tournament fishing for you. But anyway, I want to come on here and let you guys know and be transparent about it. Let our sponsors know, uh, what's going on, as far as the points race going forward. And we've got an uphill climb, but we know anything's possible with God. And um, we appreciate each sponsor that has, um, supported us, stood behind us, believed in us, and um, they're running on blind faith. Um, when they step out and do that, and they're putting a lot of trust. Now, do they pressure us? No, they don't. They're good people. All of them are good people, good sponsors. Um, I'm sure if I needed something bad enough, they would help me out with that, and, um, I've just been blessed by God to be able to do what I'm doing, and to have the sponsors that I have. And uh, here at Slab Happy to have the team members we have, to have my family support behind me doing this and doing the business. And um, but we can't wait to get to our next one, get the Cherokee, try to redeem ourselves a little bit if we can. Again, these are great guys, great fishermen, great crappie anglers, and they know their stuff, and um, on any lake, any one of them can come from behind and just, knock it out of the park. So can't let your guard down. You got to do the best you can do, and pray. I pray. Some folks may not, but I do. And I believe that God cares about what we care about. Not that we put it before God. God has to always be first. In everything we do. But God cares about what we care about, and He's there to answer prayers. And if He don't answer your prayer, then there's a reason behind it. And um, just don't get discouraged. Don't give up. Keep pushing on. It's the same in your walk with Christ. Don't get discouraged. Um, Family will come up against you. Um, the world is constantly against you. Um, and we don't belong here. We're just we're strangers in a hostile world, is what we are. And we just got to keep trusting in God, keep moving forward, and whatever God has laid out for us, we need to reach out and accept that, and do the best we can to live for our Savior, our our king. It's been said recently about, no kings. There is one king, and he's king of everything, and he's the king of kings, and he's coming back soon. So, um, we got to be looking up. But anyway, until next video, I'm Perry Hensley. Oh, before I forget, what we caught them on down there. I ain't gonna tell no lie about it. I used minnows a lot that day. Um, I had did that in practice, pre-fishing. Caught them on a slip float pretty good. Again, catching them deep, deep for me. Catching them around 18 to 20 feet on a slip float minnow. If you've not tried that kind of fishing, you should try it. It's uh, it's getting funner for me. But I just, I've always hated to use minnows. We buy minnows every time we go. Again, we buy four or 5 dozen minnows every tournament, and we might use 2 or 3 throughout the day. But on this day, Lewis and I used some minnows in the slip float method. We threw the new feather jigs that I've been tying. Right there's one of them we threw. Something similar. The one I had a black head on it. Pretty much all day is what I threw. Now, Lewis, he used some plastics and, some other stuff like that. We had to downsize um, and fish hard. We did. We fished hard all day long and was wore out when I got home. But that becomes the norm for me. Whether I'm fishing for fun or fishing a tournament, either one, I'm always wore out when I get home. And I tell the wife, oh boy, I'm wore out. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. I've been at work all day, and fair enough, but anyway, again, we're blessed to do what we do. I'm blessed to do what I do, and to be able to do the things that I do, to move the way that I move at the age that I am. I'm no spring chicken. I'm pushing 54, and maybe 54. I can't even remember now. I know it's 53 or 54. It's all the same. It's just a number. God has uh, granted me a blessing with being mobile. I could still run if I had to run. I could, anything like that. Move around. Now I hurt. Don't get me wrong. I do hurt. Now more than ever. Joints hurt. Legs hurt. Arms hurt. But that's part of getting old. And I accept that. But anyway, to be the age that I am and to have the mobility that I do, I'm blessed there too. And God has been so good to me. But anyway, we use that. Coming out pretty soon, we'll have these up there for sale. The 2-inch Slab Tech Mini. Oh, Slab Tech Minnow, not the Mini. I'm still trying to get restocked on the 1.75 Slab Tech Minis. They're pretty good when you got to downsize and they're wanting a little action. So be ready to check these out soon. Again, we started them in just solid colors with glitter and mixing in the pearls and stuff like that. Again, I don't make these myself, but I do have creative control over colors and size, and don't hesitate to check out the 2.8. It is a much bigger bait, of course, but coming up on spring, these crappie are real aggressive, and they do work. We have done good on Watts Bar at the Big Fish tournament. For 3 years now, we've done really good. Our team members, not myself, but our team members have won money. for the biggest fish that of that hour, the biggest fish that was caught during that day. They even won that, and it's um, it feels good, that our products can do that, but don't hesitate to check out the 2.8s. The crappie will hit them. You think they're too big? They're not too big. They will when they're in that aggressive mode. When they're out roaming open water looking for stuff to eat, getting fat for the um, the breeding season coming up, and or even the black crappie when they're guarding, they're guarding the nest and you're throwing on the banks, to the beds and stuff. They get real aggressive then too. They'll hit those really good. But anyway, till next time, I'm Perry Hensley, and we'll see you.